Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, 5-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLC. A little bit about my guest tonight. I have a very special VIP guest by the name of Dr. Kelsei LeAnn. From a very young age, I knew I was destined for more. I knew that I had the influence. I gave my life to Christ at 16 years old. This is where my influence kicked in. I hosted an online prayer call in 2013. The first call had about 10 people on it. The second call had 50 people. The third call had 200. The fourth call had 500. And by the next month, I had over 10,000 young people from all over the country calling in for prayer. I knew that I wanted to help people on a deeper level, but I didn't know how. I eventually, through my dad, learned about psychology, and I was set on being a therapist. I knew that this was what I was supposed to be doing. I started out my journey at Southern University A&M College, which I graduated from December 2019. While at Southern, I discovered the Hope Bible Institute. Hope Bible Institute allowed me to accomplish my lifelong dream in 3 years. I am now a licensed therapist. Welcome to the table, the amazing Dr. Kelsei LeAnn.
Thank you, Ashley, for having me. I am so excited to be here.
You are welcome. So let's talk about your amazing movement that you started, your entrepreneur journey. Let's talk about that. So let's walk us through your journey.
Okay, so you mentioned the prayer call, which was crazy at that time. I got saved August 2013. August 2013, I got saved. November 2013, I'm now praying for 10,000 people. Like, I wasn't even really saved, like, to be honest. And it was so wild to me. And so in that moment, I knew, like, okay, you're a leader. That sparks the fact that people follow me when I talk. They listen, they respond. So that sparked something. But I kind of held it dormant for a while. So now I'm in college. I'm working, and I get laid off 3 times within, like, 6 months. I have bills. I got to pay my way through school, and I'm stressed. So I started a clothing line. That was like my first business. Epic failure. We'll never do it again. But that's what I did. And then with my clothing line, I built my own website, marketed myself, all that good stuff. And my old college roommate, she called me and she was like, hey, girl, I love your website. Can you build mine? And at that point, I was just doing websites because I knew how to do them. And so I built her website for her. She paid me like $20, and it was cool. Next thing I know, about 40 people that she knew ended up calling me, and it was like, hey, I need a website. Hey, I need a website. And I was like, okay, a lot of people are calling me, asking me about websites. Maybe I should, at that point I was hating clothes anyway. So I was like, maybe I should transition into doing websites. So I did. And that was the real start of my entrepreneur journey. At that point, I started to know what a real business was, quote unquote. I got to deal with, like, customer service, public relations. Like, I was dipping my hand in all these different types of pots. And so that was my true taste of entrepreneurship. So with websites, I then went to digital marketing. So I was doing, like, Facebook ads for people. I was doing, like, their email marketing. I was doing, their social media marketing on Instagram and on Twitter, and that was good for a while. And then I transitioned into coaching. So this is all while I'm in school to be a therapist. Like, I'm doing everything to keep my head above water and pay my bills. So at this point, I transitioned into coaching, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I've graduated, got my doctorate degree, and now I'm like, what's next? I'm crying to my fiance. I'm saying, I don't know what to do. I am drowning. I want to be a therapist, but I don't know how to do it my way. I don't want to work at a traditional job. They're not paying me what I know I deserve. And so I was frustrated. I was angry. I was crying. I was mad at God. I was like, why would you even tell me to do this if every job I apply to is telling me no? And I was angry. So all I heard God say in that moment, this was August 16th of 2019. It's 2020 now. And all I heard God say was, just wait. So, when you hear God say just wait, you think you're about to be waiting 6, 7, 8 months. Literally, I waited 2 weeks, and my life blew up. Since then, I have been able to hit multiple 5 figures, pushing the 6-figure mark in 6 months since that happened. And now I have a tour, I have a book, I have a podcast, I have a platform with over 90,000 people that follow me. I have over 12 million impressions on my social media on a daily basis, and I'm able to really change the narrative on what therapy is for Black and minority communities. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. And it's mind-blowing how I got here, but that's my journey in a nutshell.
You know what? I love your journey. Thanks for sharing that journey for the listeners that might be discouraged right now or might be going through some of the same things. Because the key thing was God had a plan, and you did not give up, right? You were relentless about it, and you pushed through, because it's always a process, right, that we all have to go through. And a lot of people want the end result, but they don't want to go through the process. But the process is what pushed you out there, and you didn't give up. If you would have gave up on the process, you wouldn't have gotten all of the great things that you're doing now.
Exactly. And
Dr. Kelsei, please tell us more about your online prayer call, how it continues to push you into your purpose. Tell us about that. I read a little bit about it in your bio, but it was amazing how it started out small. And it's just an example of how don't let 2 people in the room at your first event discourage you, because you don't know where it's going to lead you to. So let's talk about that.
Right. So, like I said, I was fresh out of Heaven Gate Save, and the Holy Spirit told me to do a prayer call. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pray for people. So literally, the only people that were on the call in the beginning was the people that went to my church in my small group. Those are the only people that was on there. But I prayed. Normal prayer lasted probably 20 minutes maximum, and so time progressed. I did it every single Thursday. That was my thing. So the next Thursday came, and now people from my city started to kind of pop in and out. So I'm like, okay, people are kind of, getting the buzz about it. So I didn't pay no attention to it. I did it as if it was just me and God on the call, prayed as normal, 30 minutes usual. So by the third prayer call, there was about 150 people on it after I looked at the analytics. And people were asking me to kind of help them in a sense of what they were going through. Like, hey, it was more so, it wasn't more general prayers at this time. It was like specific to a person that spoke up as I was praying. They was like, hey, can you pray for my mom? She has cancer. So now I'm praying for cancer, and the next person and the next person. And that's kind of how that worked. And so now by the 5th or 6th prayer call, there's 10,000 people on. You can hear people crying. People was getting saved. It was crazy. So with the prayer call, the structure was really, I get on, I pray, I get off. But as it progressed, it developed into what the people wanted, and I kind of just adopted and adapted to that. So the prayer call was really a monumental moment. It taught me the art of, it doesn't matter if it's 2 people or 2,000 people. It's about the impact that the person gets once it's over.
And that is so important. It's about the impact. The impact. That is so true. So, Dr. Kelsei, tell us about your tour and the next cities you will be visiting.
So, actually, my first round of my tour just wrapped up last weekend. Well, this Saturday that just passed in Chicago. So I went to Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, and Chicago. The second round of the tour opens up this summer. So that's super exciting. But yeah, so the tour was amazing. It was great. It was a live workshop on childhood trauma, boundaries, and emotional wellness. I kind of made it seem like a big group therapy type setting. Everybody went around the room, told me what they was going through, and I helped each person individually. Sometimes we didn't get out till almost midnight because I was determined to make sure that you walked away knowing what to do next. So that was the main goal for the tour. I wanted them to have something tangible that they can leave with knowing, okay, this is what I need to do next to jumpstart my healing journey.
I love that. And so you said the next one will be this summer, correct? The cities will be
Yes.
announced this summer? Okay, awesome.
Yes.
So definitely for our listeners that are listening, stay tuned for her tour cities so you can attend some of these amazing events that Dr. Kelsei is doing.
Yes, it's going to be super exciting. I'm excited.
Awesome. So let's talk about your podcast and how we can listen, support, and get involved. Tell us about the podcast and the type of people that you're interviewing, and how can people become guests.
So the podcast is called The You Effect. That's the name of my book. That's the name of my brand, and all that. So it's called The You Effect. You can listen to it wherever you listen to your podcast: Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Pandora. Wherever you listen to your podcast, you can listen to The You Effect. And basically the purpose of The You Effect is to teach you real and authentic ways to heal. We don't do the fluff. We get to the nitty-gritty. I always tell my listeners, you want to be in your space when you listen to this podcast. It's not those podcasts where it may be too deep for you to be driving in a car listening to it. You might have to pull over and cry. I get the stories all the time. But it's super important that I be honest with my audience. It's super important that I be transparent and real with them because they've been getting a lot of fluff for a long time, and they're tired. And my goal is to be real and to tell you the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts, but that's the only way you heal. The only way out of it is to go through it. So I be real with them. And if you would like to be a guest on the podcast, then you can just email me, support@theueffect.live, and tell me all about you. With the podcast, though, it would have to be related in some sort of wellness aspect. So if you do anything that can help them feel spiritually, mentally, emotionally, or physically better, then you would be perfect for the podcast.
So for our listeners that are listening, if you are interested in being a guest on Dr. Kelsei's podcast, definitely reach out to her, get involved, start listening to her podcast and supporting her podcast. So tell us more about your book. You know, your book is called The You Effect as well. So tell us about the book. I know you kind of spoke on, your journey. So what inspired you to write The You Effect, and how can we purchase and support your book?
Yes, so The You Effect, amazing book. It's a double book, as I like to call it. One side is the actual context of the book. You flip the book over, and there's a 90-day journal to kind of help you heal through what you just read. So it's a double book. So with the book, what really inspired it was the demand that I saw. I saw a need, and my purpose is to fulfill the need. So I saw that a lot of people were stuck in this phase of their adulthood where they see their toxic traits, but they didn't know where it came from, and they couldn't identify exactly what it was. So I was kind of the bridge. I kind of gave you, okay, this is where it comes from. Let's go back to your childhood. Let's break it down. Let's really define what trauma means, because trauma isn't, sometimes when we when we think of trauma, we think of physical, but trauma is mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual, all of that. So we kind of break that down, and then we talk about our parents, and we talk about how they raised us, and how sometimes, we don't need everything that they raised us with as an adult, because it isn't the best way to live as an adult. Doesn't mean that they were wrong. It just means that for us personally, it's not the best way to live. So we kind of go through the reparenting process. We start identifying, and then we start healing. And you can go get the book at Amazon or Barnes & Noble. It's called The You Effect by Dr. Kelsei LeAnn, and you can get it. And I would love for you guys to read it and support. And hopefully the book jumpstarts your healing journey to where you're ready to kind of face those wounds that you may have left unopened.
Oh, my God. It sounds like an amazing book. So for our listeners that are listening, definitely go support her book and definitely spread the word. Dr. Kelsei, are you writing another series, other book? Is it going to be different volumes, or what's your plan for it?
I'm thinking of writing some more. At the moment, I'm kind of tossing around a couple of ideas, but it'll definitely be not necessarily a series, but they'll all follow each other. So they'll all kind of piggyback on one another. But a series with the same name, not necessarily sure yet, but we'll see. You never know.
Never know, right? Never know. So I asked all of my guests this question, and I see that you have continued to build your own tables, which is amazing. So how did you create your seat at the table?
To be honest, I didn't create the seat. I created the table. That was the thing. Because in my space, being 22, being a therapist at a very young age, and also being a young black woman, there were no tables for me. So I had to create the table. And with creating this table, I had to determine who was and who wasn't allowed to sit at it. And that allowed me to see who in my life is not needed in this season. Like the last season of my life, I may have needed these people for whatever reason, but this season, I need as less people as possible. Because the more accessible I come, the more entitled people come. So the only people I need at my table are people who understand the importance of me creating the table, if that makes sense. So going through that adjustment and really defining what having a table in itself means, it means that I take all the hits. That's completely fine. I take the lashes, per se. I take the backlash. I take the rumors, the talking about. I create the way so that another young black therapist can have a seat at the table. That there's already some place for her where she can feel safe, she can feel secure, she can feel as if she's not alone. And for now, I'm more than happy to be that person. And it's important that I spread that message that a lot of the tables that we want to sit at, we have to create. There is no table for us. You have to create it. And then the next generation, they'll be able to sit at a table that you once had to create.
Absolutely. And that's what it's all about. I always tell, and I'm a big believer in this, I always say a true successful person is one who reaches back and helps others. If you're not helping others, then you're not successful, right? That's when you say when you're serving others and creating room for others at the table. So I love that you said that because that's what it's all about. Because when you do that for others, your gift will make room for you. So thank you for sharing that. So we all have a process in our journey, right? And we talked about some of your process. So what did failure teach you on your journey?
Failure taught me that I'm okay. A lot of times when we think we fail, we think that it's the end of the world. But I realized that failure taught me what I don't and I do like. The more I failed, the more I learned about myself. The more I learned about myself, the better I became. I never would be the person I am today if I didn't fail at all those businesses before now. And even still with my business today, I'm still learning, failing, and adjusting. The main thing that I tell all my clients when it comes to failure is that failure is a mentality. When you see failure as a yes rather than a no, you'll be more likely to fail. Failing isn't a bad thing if the end result is you learn more about yourself that makes you better. I never run from the process. It may suck and it may be hard, but that's the only way out of it is through it. So why run from it when I can embrace it and come out better than what I came in?
So it's all a lesson.
Yes,
all
everything.
So you're very successful. So tell us, what did success teach you on your journey?
To be honest, I really learned that success is subjective to the person that wants to be successful. That was kind of mind-blowing to me because I thought success was I get to this certain caliber and I'm successful. But I reached the caliber and I still felt like I had to do more. It really made me redefine what success looks like. Does success look like a monetary thing? Is it an emotional thing? Is it physical? Is it mental? Is it a mixture? What do I want success to look like for me? Do I want it to be, I up and hop on a plane whenever I want to? Or is it, I pay for things without having to, look at the price of it? Or is it, I take my mom off her job to where she can live out her dreams? Like, what would be the epitome of I made it? And I had to redefine what that looks like. I would say I'm very successful for my age, but I'm not at what I deem successful yet. I have a lot of goals, my main one being my own TV show. So once I reach that milestone, I've made it. I'm good. And so it really taught me the art of resilience and grit, and to keep going even when it doesn't look like it's working, to keep working it until it works.
I love that. I love that you shared it because it's so important that you keep going no matter what, because you have to be fearless and relentless in order to get to the next level. You got to sound crazy,
yes.
Right? You have to. You have to, because honestly, I think a lot of people get discouraged because of what other people might say, but no, you can't. You got to focus on what your journey is, what your dream is, and if you're not going to be, you should be more invested in anybody else because it's your dream, right? It's your dream. So,
exactly.
Thanks for sharing that. So what can we expect from you? We're in a new decade, a new year, Dr. Kelsei. What can we expect from you in 2020? What do you have lined up? I know you have the tour. What else do we got?
So I got the tour, in the process of my own TV show that's in the works now, which I'm really excited about. So in the process of my own TV show, we have the tour. I'm speaking at a bunch of colleges this year, really jump-starting my brand on being more accessible to in-person versus virtual. So my goals for 2020 is to be more in-person, in your face, helping you face-to-face versus helping you online through my digital programs like I do now. So 2020 is going to be a fun year. I'm super excited, and there's a lot to come. So make sure you guys follow me so that you can stay up to date, because 2020 is going to be a ride.
I love it. So make sure you follow her, get in touch with her, support her. When she comes to your city, get involved with Dr. Kelsei. She is making some major, major, major moves by her book, tune into her podcast. So please tell our listeners, Dr. Kelsei, how they can follow you and support you on all social media platforms.
Yes, so like I said, you can go listen to the podcast or any podcast that you listen to. It's called The You Effect. You can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Dr. Kelsei LeAnn. You can go to my YouTube, which is Dr. Kelsei LeAnn, and you can just stay connected that way. I update all of those platforms with everything that I have going on so that you never miss a beat.
So definitely go follow her and support her, as I stated, on all social media platforms. And she is definitely someone to know and connect with. Dr. Kelsei, thank you so much. You have an amazing platform. This has been an amazing interview, and I can't wait to invite you back to the table.
Thank you so much for even having me at the table. I appreciate all you do, Ashley.
You are welcome, and thank you for bringing the table, okay? Bringing the table to the table.
You are so welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I look forward to working with you and connecting with you in this new year.
Yes, I do the same.
Awesome. So I would like to give a special thanks to my intern, Sarah, from Tennessee State University. I would also like to give a special thanks to my intern, Vontaria, from Winston-Salem State University. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.